It was a bright Saturday afternoon in East Legon. The sun kissed the rooftops of Accra, and the air buzzed with life. But at one luxury villa tucked away behind high hedges and blacked-out gates, something else was in the air: anticipation and secrets. Elorm Nyamaki had just turned 30. Now, Elorm wasn't just any 30-year-old. He was a tech genius, founder of Swiftline, a ride-hailing app that had taken over Accra like wildfire. Young, rich, and controversial, Elorm was known as much for his Twitter rants as for his business moves. One tweet could start a war. But today, he wasn't online. He was hosting the most exclusive party of the weekend. 15 guests only. No plus ones. No randoms. This wasn't some jam-packed Bloom Bar crowd. Elorm handpicked every person on the list. A few old friends from Legon, 2 radio hosts, a couple of well-known influencers from TikTok and Instagram, and, of course, his girlfriend, Amma. Amma Owusuwa was drop-dead gorgeous, the type that made heads turn when she walked into a room. She'd been dating Elorm for just over a year. Quiet, elegant, and always perfectly styled, but she had one known quirk: she had a severe peanut allergy. Even trace amounts of groundnut could land her in the ER. The party started at 3 p.m. sharp. There was champagne, Afro beats in the background, and a giant cake shaped like a Tesla. But the main event? The food chef Kobe. Yes, that chef Kobe. The culinary darling of Ghana's elite. Known for reimagining traditional Ghanaian dishes with flair, think tilapia brulee, smoked jollof with hibiscus reduction, grilled goat with baobab glaze. He didn't come cheap, but Elorm had money to blow and a reputation to flex. The spread was jaw-dropping. Bowls of red with fried plantain chips stacked like towers. Keluele marinated in dark ginger molasses. Fufu served in coconut shells, swimming in thick groundnut soup. And jollof rice that smelled so rich it practically screamed, "This isn't your mother's kitchen." But the food tasted different. The jollof was unusually smoky. Not burnt, but almost like it had been cooked over firewood soaked in herbs. Some guests found it intoxicating. Others, suspicious. "Charlie, this Keluele day bitter small o," one guest whispered, nudging her friend. Amma, who had just finished a bowl of groundnut soup, licked her lips and smiled. "This is divine. Chef Kobe is a magician," she said. Her friend blinked. "Wait. Amma, you just ate groundnut soup." Amma froze for a second. Then laughed nervously. "Oh, I guess he must have used something else. I feel fine." Everyone brushed it off. Maybe it was new ingredients. Maybe Chef Kobe was just that good. By 7 p.m., people were tipsy and full. Elorm made a short speech, thanked everyone, kissed Amma, and went back to DJing his own playlist. No one knew that would be the last time they'd see him completely conscious for days. 2 days later. Monday morning. Elorm walked into his office at Swiftline HQ, dressed in his usual tailored white kaftan and sneakers. He smiled at his assistant, asked for his usual iced latte, and sat down at his desk. 20 minutes later, during a Zoom call, he suddenly grabbed his chest, then collapsed. Paramedics arrived in under 10 minutes. He was breathing, but barely. His blood pressure was erratic. His pupils were dilated. Something wasn't right. He was rushed to Nyaho Medical Center, where doctors ran test after test. Food poisoning? Maybe. But then again, maybe not. By nightfall, Elorm was in a medically induced coma. The diagnosis? Acute neurological toxicity. And that's when the whispers started. What was in the food? X, formerly Twitter, exploded with conspiracy theories. TikTokers started breaking down videos from the party. Someone zoomed in on a shot of Elorm's plate. Others analyzed Amma's dress for witch energy. The nation was hooked. Meanwhile, the police started digging, and the first person they went for was the man in charge of the food. Chef Kobe. He was calm at first. Confident. He told detectives that every single dish was his own original creation, prepared to the highest culinary standards. "I've served 3 first ladies and 2 foreign presidents," he said proudly. "There's no way my food poisoned anyone." But after hours of questioning, he cracked. Turns out, Chef Cobby didn't work alone that day. He admitted that someone else had been in the kitchen, a young man he had never worked with before. A kitchen assistant, hired last minute, by none other than Amma. Chef Cobby explained that he was told the assistant was a family friend of the birthday boy's girlfriend, and she had insisted on his presence to help with serving and cleanup. At the time, he didn't ask questions. He should have. Because when police went looking for this mysterious assistant, he was gone. No phone number. No ID. No trace. The name Amma gave, Kwesi Mensah, turned out to be fake. And the number she used to contact him? Deactivated. Now the case took a darker turn. Amma had been the one to arrange extra help in the kitchen. Amma had eaten the peanut-based soup with no allergic reaction. Amma had suddenly stopped posting on Instagram after being online every single day since 2017. The internet noticed. Influencer watchdog pages began questioning her silence. Her last story, smiling next to a lawn, holding a glass of bubbly, was now being dissected for clues. Some swore her eyes looked too calm. Others pointed out she never touched the birthday cake. In real life, detectives quietly invited her in for questioning. Amma showed up, cool and composed. She wore a peach-colored blouse, no makeup, and brought along her lawyer. She denied everything. Said she only hired the assistant to relieve pressure off the chef. Said she had no idea about any poison. Claimed she loved Delorme deeply and had been planning a surprise vacation for them in Zanzibar. But one thing was clear, Amma's social media blackout wasn't just a coincidence. The once vibrant influencer who posted outfit reels, daily quotes, and curated snapshots of her love life, was gone. No posts. No stories. No captions. Just silence. And in that silence, the questions got louder. Who really poisoned Delorme? What was in the food? And what happened to the ghost assistant who vanished right after the party? One thing was certain, this wasn't just about bad jollof. This was a carefully planned move. And someone, maybe even more than one person, wanted Delorme out of the picture. Permanently. While Delorme lay unconscious in the hospital and police chased shadows, the internet did what it does best, investigate. Every WhatsApp group, Twitter thread, and Telegram gossip channel in Ghana was ablaze. Some people defended Amma. Others dragged her like old Kenki. But then, something dropped that changed everything. A Twitter user with the handle @AmuThePlug posted a thread with the caption, "You're still defending Amma? Let me show you her real self." Screenshots loading. The thread revealed DMs, screenshots of Amma chatting on Instagram with a well-known Cape Coast herbalist named Nana Aji, a man already known in online spiritual circles for selling charms, herbal aphrodisiacs, and other things they don't talk about in church. In the messages, Amma asked specifically about something called Ento Ibunu. She wrote, "I want the strong one, the one that makes a man fall in love fast. But I don't want him to lose control or go mad." Nana Aji replied, "Ento Ibunu is not for play. It bonds the soul through food. You must not overdose." Now here's the thing, Ento Ibunu isn't just some herbal tea. Among traditional circles in the central region, it's whispered to be a mix of ancient herbs, grounded into powder, and activated through food. Historically, it was used in rituals, some say for love, others say for vengeance. But modern herbalists? They sell it under the counter for one purpose only: to control a lover's will. The screenshots went viral. Within hours, #Ento Ibunu trended on Twitter Ghana. TikTok spiritualists started making videos explaining how dangerous it is. One even claimed, "It doesn't just bind the person emotionally, it can shut down memory if used recklessly." Then, another old thread surfaced, posted months ago by a gospel musician known as Minister Kojo. It was a long, emotional Facebook rant that no one took seriously at the time. But now? It hit differently. In the post, Kojo said, "I was under her spell. Literally. I stopped eating meat, changed my church, even gave up my concert slot, all because she said God told her I should rest. But I know now I was being spiritually manipulated." The woman he was referring to? Amma Owusuwa. He even mentioned that one night he caught her burning white powder in his kitchen while boiling light soup. She said it was ancestral seasoning. I didn't ask questions, and that was my mistake. Back in the real investigation, detectives had just obtained a warrant to search Amma's apartment in Cantonments. And what they found? A burner phone. Not her regular iPhone. Not the Android she used for her influencer page. A small, cheap burner phone hidden inside a showbox in her closet, tucked behind a pair of designer heels. The call logs revealed 2 recurring numbers. *1 belonged to Nana Aji, the Cape Coast herbalist. *the other? Chef Kobe. Suddenly, it looked like more than just coincidence. There was clear coordination. Amma was brought in for a second round of questioning. This time, the tone was different. Detectives laid out the call logs, the messages, and the screenshots. She didn't deny it. Instead, Amma leaned back in her chair, held her head high, and said, "I just wanted him to love me more. To commit. I didn't mean to hurt him. It was supposed to be a gentle push." According to her, Elorm had been distant. Ignoring texts. Dodging conversations about marriage. She claimed the love powder was just to open his heart. But the toxicology results told a different story. Whatever went into Elorm's food was not mild. Not harmless. Not spiritual. It was dangerous. Potentially lethal. Experts confirmed that an overdose of ento-ibunu mixed with alcohol could shut down brain activity within hours. And now, Elorm was in a coma, breathing through tubes. But then came the final blow. As detectives built their case, Elorm's assistant turned over a copy of a draft email Elorm had typed the night before his birthday, a breakup letter addressed to Amma. In the unsent message, he wrote, "Amma, I care about you, but I can't do this anymore. The pressure to propose, the emotional manipulation, the energy around you, it's too much. After the party, I need space. We're done." Amma was hours away from being dumped. And instead of letting him go, she tried to bind him. With food. With power. With poison. She was officially arrested that evening. No tears. No public statement. Just a long coat, sunglasses, and silence as she was led into the back of a black SUV. The woman who once curated the perfect online romance had now become the villain of Ghana's biggest scandal. But little did anyone know, the real mess hadn't even started yet. Because someone else had been in the kitchen too. And she wasn't finished. Just when everyone thought the case couldn't get messier, it did. Amma was in custody. Elorm was still unconscious. And the internet had gone from investigating to outright diagnosing. TikTok spiritual analysts were dissecting every move Amma had ever made. Twitter was torn between calling her a victim of toxic love and branding her a food witch. But then, the real bombshell dropped. A leak. From inside the police investigation. A confidential report somehow found its way onto a popular gossip blog called The Social Agenda. The headline? Newspaper second woman in the kitchen, Elorm's secret girlfriend uncovered. Within minutes, the internet went feral. The report claimed that Elorm had been in a relationship with another woman, someone completely unknown to his friends and followers. Her name? Serwa Tenkarang. 32. UK-based Ghanaian. Business owner. Private. No social media presence. The kind of woman who didn't need followers because she had money, class, and influence in quiet rooms. According to immigration records, Serwa had flown into Ghana 3 days before Elorm's birthday party. But here's the twist: she was never on the guest list. In fact, no one at the party even knew she was in the country. CCTV footage from the villa's backyard security camera showed something chilling. At 5:38 a.m. on the morning of the party, long before any guest arrived, Serwer was seen walking through the back gate, using a key fob. Yes. A key. Investigators confirmed it was Elorm's spare key, which he had once given to her on a trip to London. She used it to let herself in while he was still asleep. And where did she go? The kitchen. She stayed there for 27 minutes. Unseen. Unheard. No cameras inside, but her prints were later found on the edge of a soup pot, the same pot that would later be used for the groundnut soup. When brought in for questioning, Serwer remained calm. Polite. Composed. She told police she just wanted to make him breakfast. Claimed it was a surprise. Said she left before anyone woke up. She even admitted she knew about the party, but wasn't trying to cause drama. But the investigators weren't buying it. Because on her phone was a deleted Instagram DM conversation from 2 weeks earlier, with none other than Amma. Apparently, the two women knew about each other. And what had started as passive-aggressive likes on each other's photos had escalated into a full-blown fight in the DMs. One message from Serwer read, "You think you've won? That man was in my bed last month. Let him eat his own karma. I'll watch from the shadows." Another message, this one from Amma, replied, "You'll never be more than the side dish. He's mine. He eats from my hand." It was digital warfare. And now, both women had motive, opportunity, and access to Elorm's food. Public opinion split instantly. Team Amma versus Team Serwer. Some said Amma only wanted to win her man back. Others said Serwer was the real villain, the silent, calculating ex-woe snuck in while no one was looking. Influencer pundits began releasing breakdown videos, analyzing Serwer's body language during her interview. One even claimed her choice of perfume, a rare oud scent, was used in ancient seduction rituals. The media couldn't get enough. Newspapers called it the kitchen triangle. Bloggers dubbed the case Jollof Noir. An Akumawa director allegedly began casting for a film adaptation. But for detectives? This was no entertainment. They were now dealing with two prime suspects. Both women had knowledge of Elorm's eating habits. Both had emotional stakes. Both had touched the food in some way. The problem was, neither one had a clear motive to kill. Amma wanted love. Serwer wanted revenge. But the poison wasn't just about hurt feelings. It was targeted, precise, and medical grade. Which begged the question. What if neither of them did it? Or worse, what if they weren't the only ones? Just when the case was already spiraling into chaos, two women, one poisoned man, and a nation glued to their phones, another twist knocked everything sideways. A twist that came from the last place anyone expected, Chef Kobe's bedroom. Kwame Mensah, Chef Kobe's ex-boyfriend, had remained silent throughout the media storm. A quiet type, known in small art circles around Osu as a sculptor and spoken word poet. No one paid much attention to him until the voice notes dropped. One morning, just after 10 a.m., a now-deleted Twitter space titled Confessions from Kobe's Pillow went viral within minutes. Hosted by Kwame himself. His opening line? "I stayed quiet out of love. But love don't mix with poison. So here's what your favorite celebrity chef is really cooking." Then he hit play. 6 audio clips. Each more damning than the last. In one voice note, Kobe could be heard laughing on the phone with someone. That Amma girl say she wants him to love her more. Love potion, she day call em. I just give her a drop of the real spice. That one, small dosage. It won't kill him, just make him slow. Unless she overdoses. The room in the Twitter space went silent. Then erupted. Other clips hinted at something even darker, a side hustle. Cobby had been secretly crafting and selling enhanced seasonings, herbal mixtures and spice blends infused with rare, sometimes dangerous, substances. Not for culinary delight, but for control. Submission. Weakness. Sometimes even elimination. And the clients? Not just heartbroken women. Kwame listed them off. Politicians trying to silence rivals. Side chicks trying to keep married men. A pastor who wanted his assistant to fall sick and resign. Even a bank manager's wife who wanted her husband too sick to cheat. It was a full underground market, run from the kitchen of Ghana's most celebrated private chef. And Amma, it turned out, had just been one of many. Kwame even uploaded screenshots of encrypted WhatsApp chats between Chef Cobby and different buyers, code-named as Customer, Sundays Only, and First Lady V2. The police couldn't ignore it anymore. Chef Cobby was arrested within 24 hours. Raided. Interrogated. And what they found in his house confirmed everything: jars of labeled powders, spreadsheets tracking orders, and even receipts of discreet courier deliveries marked as organic tea spice. That's when everything flipped. Amma's story, that she didn't mean harm, suddenly seemed plausible. She had asked for something to make him love her. She may not have known it was that strong dot. But Chef Cobby. He knew exactly what he was doing. The charges against him expanded immediately: attempted manslaughter, criminal conspiracy, illegal possession of controlled substances, and more. And with the investigation now public, Ghana Health Services reopened 7 unresolved cases of food-related deaths and hospitalizations from the last 12 months. Victims who collapsed after business dinners. A pastor who died during a retreat. A politician who suddenly lost speech during a televised debate. All had eaten meals catered by one chef, or from someone connected to him. The whispers of food as weapon weren't just rumor anymore. Meanwhile, at Nyaho Medical, something quietly miraculous happened. Elorm woke up. Eyes fluttering open. Disoriented. Weak. But alive. Doctors and nurses rushed in. Machines beeped. He blinked against the light and asked the one question that broke the silence. "What day is it?" The doctors explained he had been out for almost 2 weeks. Then came the real shock. Elorm couldn't remember anything from the 7 days leading up to his birthday. Not the argument with Amma. Not his secret plans to break up. Not even the party. He remembered everything else: his childhood, his business, his family. But that crucial week? Gone. Like someone had plucked it out of his mind. When the doctors ran further tests, one neurologist mentioned a disturbing possibility. The toxin may have damaged or blocked short-term memory encoding. It's rare. But not impossible. And just like that, the victim of the most public poisoning in Ghanaian history didn't even remember who might have done it. Which meant Elorm was no longer the key witness. He was just a symbol of wealth, betrayal, and the dangerous power of food. But the story wasn't over. Because 1 year later, it would all be back. On Netflix. 1 year later. Ghana had moved on. Or at least, pretended to. The memes had faded. The hashtags had cooled. Amma's influencer career had dried up like old Wakey, and Chef Cobby's name had become taboo in elite dining circles. But the story wasn't done. On a humid July evening, Netflix Ghana dropped a surprise documentary titled Movie Camera: The Dinner That Brought Them Down. The trailer alone broke the internet. Archive footage of Elorm's birthday party, news reports of his collapse, leaked voice notes, blurred out police interrogation clips, and a deep, haunting narration. What if the poison wasn't from love or jealousy, but pride? Within 24 hours, it was trending #1 in Ghana. #2 in Nigeria. People gathered in watch parties. TikTokers went live with commentary. X, formerly Twitter, exploded with new theories. But guess who refused to be part of the documentary? Elorm. Netflix producers tried. They emailed, sent lawyers, even offered him 6 figures. But Elorm declined every time. Still, the morning after the documentary dropped, he posted a cryptic thread on X. At Tech, everyone thinks it was about women, potions, or heartbreak. What if I told you it was someone I trusted? Someone who fed me, smiled at me, and toasted to my life. I was set up. And not by who you think. The thread ended with a GIF of a dish being covered with a silver dome lid and the caption, "Bon appetit." The comments went wild. Some thought he meant Amma. Others guessed Serwa. But deep down, viewers of the documentary knew the real culprit was hiding in plain sight the whole time. In the final 10 minutes of the Netflix special, an exclusive interview aired. Chef Cobby. Wearing orange prison overalls. No makeup. No charm. Just cold honesty. The interview asked, "Why did you poison Elorm? Was it for Amma? Did Serwa pay you?" Cobby smiled and gave the most chilling reply of the entire series. "No. I did it for me." Elorm tweeted one time, just one, about how my food was overpriced hype for influencers with no taste buds. That tweet cost me 5 corporate clients and a hotel partnership. So when Amma asked for a love charm in the soup, I knew I had my window. I gave her the right thing. But I doubled the dosage. I didn't want to kill him. I wanted him to suffer, publicly. That's what he did to my brand. And just like that, the case cracked wide open. Amma had been used. Serwa? Just a red herring. The real villain? A chef with a grudge. A grudge wrapped in elegance. Served with finesse. And swallowed with trust. Chef Cobby was sentenced to 23 years in prison. No parole. His empire dissolved overnight. His recipes, once requested by the rich and powerful, were now buried under legal files and infamy. As for Elorm, he left Ghana quietly. 1 month after the documentary aired, he posted a final video message from a penthouse in Dubai, where he'd moved to restart his life. In the video, he sat in front of a giant window, city lights glowing behind him. No filters. No suits. Just him. To everyone who prayed for me, thank you. To everyone who used me as content, enjoy your views. As for me, I've learned to eat carefully. Not just the food, but the attention, the praise, the love. Everything on your plate is not nourishment. Sometimes, it's the bait. He smiled once. Then ended the video with the toast he used to say at parties. To more life, and less pepper. Amma was eventually released on bail, but socially blacklisted. No brands would touch her. Her influencer deals dried up. She tried rebranding as a healing coach on TikTok, but the comments never forgave her. Serwa, ever unbothered, returned to London. She was later seen on red carpets with a Nollywood actor rumoured to be her new fiancé. When asked about Elorm in an interview, she simply replied, "I only cook for people I trust now." And Ghana? Ghana learned a lesson. Not just about love, betrayal, or fame, but about food. Because in a world where everyone's fighting for a seat at the table, sometimes the real danger isn't who's next to you. It's who's in the kitchen.